Welcome to another Tangerine screencast. Today we're going to be looking at some of the management features that are built into Tangerine. For instance, if we look at the different assessments that are available on the screen, we've got the test assessment and the Gambia-EGRA May 2011. We've got two results already for the test assessment, so we can look at that and see what those results look like at a high level. We can also download it as a CSV file or save it up to the cloud, should that make sense. So back on this collect screen, we can also click the management button. Manage shows us all of the available assessments, including archived assessments. But if we want to edit the Gambia instrument, we can click edit. Here we see a list of all of the subtests that make up the Gambia-EGRA May 2011 instrument. We can reorder these simply by dragging and dropping the subtests to get them into the order that we want. We can also edit any one of these by just clicking on the subtest. It then loads it up and shows us, in this case, all of the words that the child is responsible for reading. If we wanted to change time to sand, we just edit it here. We can also edit the help text that the enumerator sees or the student dialogue. So we're going to save those changes. We could also go back and create a new assessment from scratch. So we're going to call this Mike's assessment. And Mike assessment, can't use apostrophes when naming an assessment. And that has created a new one. So it appears down in this list. We can click edit and start adding subtests to it. So most subtests, like most assessments, start off with the date time page. There's not a whole lot to this one. We can just change the name so it says date time instead of date time page. Save it, and that subtest is added. Say we want to add a more complex subtest, like a letter identification subtest. Then we choose the toggle grid with timer type of subtest and add it to our assessment. Now if we edit it, we're going to look at it and it's going to be pretty much empty. So let's give it a new name, say letter identification. And instead of going through and saying all of the blah blah blah, you know, all of the content for the subtest, which can take a long time, we just want to reuse an existing toggle grid with timer subtest as our content source. So here's the Gambia-EGRA May 2011 letters subtest, and we're just going to say, why don't you paste in all of the data from that subtest. Because we already had content in this one, it skipped it, but we actually want that content as well, so I made it blank, and now we've pasted in the whole thing into identify, no identify, no identify, no identify, or maybe make this bold or put something highlighted. We can do all that with this interface. We can even change the number of columns to just be 2 columns wide. Let's make it 3 columns wide. So if we save that subtest, we go back and look at the overall assessment. We see that it's got 2 subtests. So let's go and try and collect some data for it. It now appears on our collect screen. If I click the Mike assessment, it will load up this and first it will ask us to log in. We want to make sure that we always know who is capturing information, and we know this date time screen. Create a student ID, and here's our letter identification screen along with the bold and the highlight that we've just added, and there's our 3-column width. So if we click start, the timer should pop up and we can start capturing data for this assessment. That's it for the Tangerine screencast. Thanks.